Sometimes you want to add more drama to your presentations. Perhaps you're introducing a new product that you want to reveal to your audience, or you're presenting dramatic price reductions that you really want the audience to take notice of. You can do this by adding slide transitions. In PowerPoint 2013, Microsoft introduced a number of new slide transitions. Now I'm going to show you how you can use these transitions in PowerPoint 2013 to add a better flow and more drama to your presentation.
Here I have a presentation that I held at a Business Women's Forum about my life and how technology helps me every day.
Hi, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to let you know that if you're annoyed by the ads in this video, you can access our tutorials ad-free by getting a subscription to businessproductivity.com or signing up for one of our many courses on platforms such as Udemy, CyberU, and Vimeo on demand. I also wanted to take this opportunity to tell you a bit more about Storyals. Storyals, which stands for Story-Based Tutorials, is our video package offering for organizations that want to increase employee productivity using Office 365. With Storyals, organizations can inspire, motivate, and educate users on effective use of Office 365 by showcasing real-life best practices. Finally, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channels, Business Productivity and Storyals. Here you will also find my video blog, Succeed in the Digital Workplace, as well as other videos that can help you increase your productivity. If you have any questions or comments, please post them here and I'll do my very best to get back to you. With that, let's go back to the tutorial. Thank you for watching.
The presentation walks through a typical day from morning until evening. To add a bit more drama to this presentation, I've applied transitions to the slides. First, I've added a subtle fade transition to give the audience the feeling of being let in on a secret. To the next slide, where I show the start of my morning with my mobile showing the time, I've added a clock transition to re-emphasize the feeling of waking up and looking at the clock to see what time it is. To the rest of the slides, when I walk through the day, I've added a push transition from the bottom up. Again, I want to strengthen the feeling of time elapsing throughout the day. Here, I want to take the audience back in time to show them how I took notes before using pen and paper. I've added a turning cube transition to show that. To emphasize the message that I no longer use pen and paper, but instead a stylus on my tablet, I've added a more dramatic fraction transition. Let's go to the end to see the entrance of the summary slide. Since this is the end of the presentation and the summary slide, it's very likely that the audience will lose focus and start getting ready to leave the room. I have a final announcement that I want to make to the audience, so I've added some more dramatic transitions here at the end to catch their attention. First, I've added a fall over transition to show that I'm now switching to another topic. Then, I've added a curtains transition to reveal the gift for all attendees of free access to our PowerPoint 2013 course on Udemy. Finally, I'll end again with a subtle fade transition. Now, let's look at how to apply these transitions. Here's the same presentation without any transitions. To add a transition to a slide, I'll mark the slide where I want to add the transition and go to the Transitions tab. Here I have a full gallery of different transitions, from subtle to exciting. There are a number of new transitions here that you can try out. Some of them stand out quite a bit, so you want to make sure not to get carried away. Only use transitions that help emphasize your message. To apply the transition, I'll click Fade in the Subtle section. You can see a little star next to the thumbnail slide that shows that this slide has an animation or transition applied to it. To preview the transition, I'll click Preview. I'd like this transition to be a bit slower, so I'll just increase the duration to 1.5 seconds. I'll click Preview again to see the final result. On the third slide, with the mobile showing the time, I want to add a clock transition. I'll mark it and select the more exciting transition, Clock. If you click Effect Options, you can see different ways in which you can modify the transition. For instance, in this case, I can choose to make it clockwise, counterclockwise, and finally wedge. I'll choose the default one, which is clockwise. To the majority of the slides, I want to add a transition that shows time passing throughout the day. To add the same transition to multiple slides, I'll first click the Slide Sorter to see all my slides. I'll mark the first slide in the range that I want to add the transition to, hold down the Shift key, and then mark the last slide in the range. Now I'll select the transition Push. I'll go to the Effect options to see the different options for this transition. Again, I'll leave the default, which is from bottom. Now the Push transition has been added to all the slides. I'll double-click the slide with a pen and paper to get back to the normal view. To this slide, I want to add a transition effect that makes us feel like we're going back in time. I'll go to the Transition Gallery and select Cube. I'll click Effect Options and select From Left. To the next slide, I'll go to the Transition Gallery again and select the Fracture transition. This is new in PowerPoint 2013. It's quite dramatic, so you shouldn't use this very often, only when you want to make a point of something. I want to add a subtle fade transition to the summary slide and the thank you slide. I'll hold down the Control key and mark both slides, and then I'll click Fade. Now to the grand finale. I want to reveal the gift to all attendees with a red curtain opening up showing the free course. To get a red curtain effect, I need to insert a red slide. I'll right-click between the slides where I want the new slide to be located and select New Slide. I'll right-click on the slide and select Format Background and change the color to a dark red. Now I need to apply the curtains transition to the slide following the red slide. I'll mark it, and under Transitions, I'll select Curtains. Now I get a theater effect of curtains opening up. I'd like to speed it up a bit, so I'll change the duration to 4 seconds and then preview. Perfect. Now I need to do something about the red slide I added. To add the effect of the summary slide falling down, I'll mark the red slide and add the fall over transition. There, now I want to see the full ending in presentation mode. I'll click the summary slide and then slideshow mode. The summary slide falls down, and then the curtains reveal the free gift to all attendees. Perfect. In just a few minutes, I've applied transitions to my slides to add more drama to my presentation.